You won't believe it. The killer used blood to paint 2 giant letters on the floor, and next to it was a chopped-off piece of meat. Really terrifying. It looked like a twisted art exhibit, with the killer's methods becoming more like a haunted house contest, leaving Mills completely puzzled. Meanwhile, Sommer was quietly organizing files in the office, seemingly enjoying the calm before his career storm. However, upon the director's arrival, he revealed gripping details of the lawyer's murder, laden with emotional declarations, stating he didn't want unresolved cases before Sommer retired. Before leaving, he gifted Sommer a souvenir found in the fat guy's stomach, truly a bizarre retirement gift. He knew Sommer wouldn't be indifferent, and sure enough, that afternoon, Sommer quietly returned to the fat guy's house. He meticulously inspected every corner and unexpectedly found some mysterious scratch marks under the fridge. He carefully pieced together the fragments from the bottle and, surprisingly, it fit, showing someone had intentionally moved the fridge. Sommer pushed aside the heavy appliance and discovered 2 deliberately hidden letters on the wall. Boss, and next to it was a note saying, "The road is long and hard, shining light from hell," which turns out to be a quote from Milton's Lost Love, akin to the 7 deadly sins for Catholics. Greed, sloth, wrath, pride, lust, and envy. It's pretty clear that the killer was following the sequence of the 7 deadly sins. Since lust and greed have already shown up, it's likely that 5 more innocent souls are in danger. This case isn't getting solved anytime soon. Sommer shared his deductions with the director, adding that he absolutely did not want to take over this mess. But after hours, he couldn't resist going to the library for some research and surprisingly got sucked into the Divine Comedy, which detailed the torments of sinners in hell. Methods described were eerily similar to the murder case. Meanwhile, Mills was home doing his own research. But he wasn't reading the Bible or philosophy books, he was flipping through a fairy tale collection by Cat. Seemingly unrelated choice was actually him trying to interpret the case in his own way. Then, Sommer organized his hypotheses into notes. He left them on Mills' desk since he hadn't officially retired and felt he might as well help out a bit. Just as Mills was about to settle in at the office, his wife Tracy surprisingly called. Tracy actually wanted to speak with Sommer. Turns out, they had just moved to the city and hadn't made any friends yet, and Mills always raved about the old detective. So, Tracy thought it would be great to invite Sommer over for dinner, and surprisingly, the atmosphere was quite cozy. Sommer sensed Tracy's deep love for her husband and Mills' neglect due to work. As an outsider, he could only quietly observe the interactions of this young couple, and after a while, the 2 detectives finally got back to work, retracing the case and swapping their findings, trying to unearth some patterns in this chaotic web of clues. Sommer pointed out that while the killer's methods were twisted, each step seemed to carry a specific meaning. Could the blindfolded photo hint at something? Although Mills mentioned that the dead man's wife had an alibi, she was currently the only viable lead. Though unstable, seeing Mills' handsome face, she recalled her husband's desk seemed disturbed. The 2 hurriedly sprinted back to the office to investigate Johnson's words. After conducting a meticulous and thorough search, they ended up finding absolutely nothing. It seems that the wealth of experience of seasoned veteran police officers truly makes a difference. Subtitles. Professional tools revealed Johnson's fingerprints formed Help Me, and lab tests showed they weren't the deceased's. So whose fingerprints were these? Could they belong to the killer? After a night of intense searching, they reached a shocking conclusion. The fingerprints belonged to a criminal named Victor who had been incarcerated in the police station. His legendary criminal tale was monumental, as had done it all and was diagnosed with severe mental issues. However, Sommer's instincts told him this guy wasn't the real killer. It was too obvious to be true. By then, many police were deployed, and no one would listen. Reluctantly, he followed Mills back. Spot burst into Victor's home, shocked by a creature barely human on the bed, reeking terribly. Mills police station had seen decades of heavy cases, and the wall was plastered with 2 piercing words. Clearly, this was the 3rd victim of the 7 deadly sins, and Sommer also took note of the photo on the floor. The photo's date shows Victor's been bedridden for a year, an unbearable year. At this time, an officer slowly approached the bed, and Mills was so angry he thought the killer had been playing them like puppets, just like a dog leading its prey. All the rats were set up. Sommer tried to calm Mills down, saying to set aside his emotions and not let feelings affect the case. But before he could finish, the light from the stairs suddenly lit up. Apparently, a reporter had barged in out of nowhere. Mills, furious, charged towards the window, brandishing a camera like a weapon. He brutally pushed the reporter out, and to top it off, they called the police. "Wait, I didn't mean to scare you. Don't take it personally," they yelled. The subtitles read, "The even more depressing news from the hospital: Victor was still alive, but had become a vegetable." According to doctors, all his bodily functions had disappeared, and during his confinement, he even bit off his own tongue. Without medication, he'd be dead by now. Getting him to reveal the killer is extremely hard. For more thrilling stories, don't forget to subscribe to our channel.